As this marathon finally comes to a close, I've decided to save the best series for second to last. Welcome to The Critique, ReBooted, where we take a look at some franchises that will never die and determine whether we should tune in or tune out their many series. I'm Song, your resident cartoon connoisseur, and this is Transformers: The Prime Wars Trilogy. Prime Wars, not to be confused with Prime, is a trilogy comprising of 3 digital miniseries on the Go90 network. It was produced by Machinima and based around the Combiner Wars toy line, Prime Wars comics, and the Gen 1 storyline continuity. The fanbase, for the most part, absolutely hated this series of cartoons, which was an issue since Hasbro needed to sell some toys. For this review, I watched 9 episodes in Combiner Wars, 10 episodes in Titan's Return, and only 6 episodes in Power of the Prime since it is still currently running, and at the time of this recording, that's all that's out. All this for a total of 15 episodes. So is it really that bad? Well, this is what I chose to do to myself, so let's get started. Okay, here's the thing. Unlike a full TV series, I'm not expecting an entire theme song or intro sequence. The episodes are too short and it's unneeded here. That said, Prime Wars still does give an intro graphic, but man, they must have been so proud of themselves because they drag out way too long. And with 5 to 10 minute episodes, it feels like forever compared to the actual content of the program. It doesn't help that there is no music at all, so even now I have to keep the gummy ship theme here in the background as I talk, just so it doesn't feel empty. The plot of Transformers Prime Wars Trilogy is... I don't even know. This show is impossible to follow, especially in Combiner Wars. From what I could catch, after the war for Cybertron many years ago, both Optimus Prime and Megatron were exiled and Autobots and Decepticons no longer matter as titles. Something about Combiners, something about Titan, something about Megatronus.
Somebody explain what just happened.
Things just sort of happen and nothing is really explained well, if at all. Events have no build-up and it is very hard to keep track of. So, yeah. What? That's it? That's all I have? Plot's too confusing to actually talk about? Alright then, I guess we're moving on. The party this time around consists of Windblade, the one who can talk to Titans, Optimus Prime when he feels like it, and Megatron because sometimes you just need a bro in your life. I don't know what they did, but somehow Megatron is the only relatable character in the whole trilogy. He's only there because he has nothing better to do, and he has a very might as well type attitude. He just rides with the flow now that he's got no army. Of course, this is just the initial party. Eventually it evolves to include main support characters like Victorion, the super religious one, Perceptor, the science one, and even eventually Grimlock shows up because he can, I guess. Here's my issue. Every character, except for Megatron for the aforementioned reason, annoys me. But if I had to be specific, Windblade and Victorion equally irritate me the most. They are constantly angry and seeking vengeance and or justice for things that are pretty insignificant, considering their whole mission to save all of Cybertron. I don't know, no one here is super likable. Of course, that leaves us with the villain, which for the first 2 series is just Starscream, I guess. It's weird, he does a thing, an evil thing, but it feels out of nowhere, and then he acts like it was his plan all along, which is kind of how he works, but here it just felt like they forgot to explain it. In fact, what even was his plan? I still don't actually know. At least in the 3rd series so far, I know what Megatronus wants to do for the most part. All in all, these characters don't engage me, and I can't be bothered to care. Even when someone dies, which actually happens quite a bit in this trilogy by the way, I feel no emotional connection at all. The saddest thing here is the number of craps I have to give. Prime Wars is animated in CGI, but I can't tell if it was intentionally supposed to look like a machinimation because, machinima, or not, but that's what it looks like. Dialogue is expressed with head bobs, and the models feel detached. Like, sometimes they aren't even on the ground. It looks so strange. Also, the lighting is weird. Everything has a single unfiltered shader on it that ends up making everything look muddy. The action is simple and unengaging. One guy punches, the other guy punches, repeat again and again. It's quite boring. And the world, it's so empty. The first couple of series are supposed to take place in this big city, but I have no proof it isn't just a ghost town that for some reason needs a council. The voice work is pretty painful too, though the quality did rise after the first series, but that's probably because they got Peter Cullen to return once again as Optimus Prime. I am a big fan of John Bailey, who did Prime in Series 1, but he is no Peter Cullen, so I'm actually glad that they made the switch. Otherwise, the dialogue pauses in weird places, and some characters just feel emotionless, the biggest offender being Starscream.
But I had no idea all this power would be so satisfying.
That guy is all about deceit. I don't hear any of his normal sarcasm here. It's tragic, to say the least. Overall, this series was a mess. It just is. And I had no idea what was going on for almost the entire time. It does get better as it goes on. The production value goes up, the voice quality goes up, but it does not go up enough, and the story is already suffering harshly. So for these reasons, I recommend tuning out of Transformers: The Prime Wars trilogy. But hey, that's just me. What do you think about the show? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you've gotten this far in the video, you might as well subscribe and like if you enjoyed. I am also pretty active on Twitter, and I have a Discord room up. The links will be in the description below, so go ahead and follow me or join the Discord to have more conversations. So I'm gonna have a good day today, and I hope you guys do too. Thank you so much for watching.